here. Did you say this is going to be terrible to drive?
I seen the orange light. I noticed that comes on. Clayton, it's been a hectic couple of weeks, but it is painted, and together we have Clayton's taken tons of footage. It's been a very hectic, frantic few weeks. We have for the first time locally here, we have a points series for basically cars like this, and the mad rush was to get to the track and
to start collecting points.
And as you would have seen probably in the last video, we were still sanding and doing a bunch of stuff. We had an endless checklist of stuff that we had to do, and we've finished everything, and it's actually been to the track, which you would have seen probably from the intro, but I think, Clayton, we're just going to show you.
We're going to show it off a bit.
We're going to show it off for the next little bit. You're going to see some B-roll of the car completed. I mean, when I say completed, there's still a couple of cosmetic things I want to do. The headlights, a couple of little silly things that are going to happen to it.
A Vento grill?
Yeah, Clayton. Somebody wants to give me a Vento grill for this thing, I'll take it.
It's going to be some guys in Europe.
Yeah, I'll take it, no problem, off your hands. Let's get to the footage, and then we'll talk about the weekend. Okay, now that you've seen what we're working with, which for the guys following on for a while, you've kind of been seeing what we've been building. Some of the stuff we had to do to get ready for the track, it's kind of like they say, like the last 5 or 10% takes the most amount of time and effort. It totally does. All the little brackets and stupid things, making sure sensors are configured. You probably would have seen some footage of the dyno of us getting the shift cut working properly and configuring the wheel speed sensors and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because I don't know if maybe some people don't know, everything with this car was new to this platform.
Every single thing, and actually to talk about that, obviously you would see from the footage, there's not even a fuse panel or anything. There's not a fuse or relay on this entire car. It's all controlled by the Nexus R5. So with that said, all the sensors that are controlling the engine, the crank sensor, air temp sensors, every single thing is aftermarket. So nothing is like...
And everything has to be configured and everything else.
Exactly. All the fail safes, all the things that go along with that. But we did make it to the track. And Clayton, let's talk about that for a second. So before we get to the track footage, I'll just let you guys know that it was a very hectic weekend for us. Clayton is not only our photographer and videographer, he's primarily here to help work on the car. So for content, both Clayton and I, it's very difficult for us to, and I get lots of YouTubers do it, but they also are YouTubers, and that's not what we are. Maybe someday, but at this point, our focus is that Clayton, myself, and Robbie really focus on working on the car, making sure it's good.
Making sure you're safe.
Making sure I'm safe, because again, everything's new. So we're gonna get to some of the track footage. We'll probably talk about some of the highlights of the weekend. I don't know, I forget. There's so much going on.
There's lots of footage, just not a lot of dialogue. So we'll let the footage kind of tell the story.
Okay, get to it. But you could tell the car was in a cloud of smoke. The CAT scan will need to be empty. I know there's a little bit of oil in that tube there now, whatever, but that setting's not going to work on the launch because 194. That was the tire fire. I was just like, I'm not shifting, I'm letting it go. And then I got distracted and I couldn't shift it. I was just like, that was more boost. 11.5. 11.5. I won though.
Well, that was 11.3. What the fuck am I seeing up there?
We made it.
We made it.
We didn't even bring our own generator here. We brought the Max heating rod generator.
And of course, all their batteries are dead, so we need it.
And we need it right now. So we're gonna give it a shot. And I started this for 3 seconds when I first got it. Clayton and I put oil in it, put fuel in it, and I tested out the remote start.
Are you gonna do it again?
I'm gonna try it right now. So pause for a second. Okay, Clayton, so I open the app and I have my device. And we're gonna turn this on. I think I've only briefly read the instructions once.
So I think you gotta turn the machine on. Now you might be able to do it.
Okay, well I haven't even tried yet, so.
Like anything technology-wise, there's apps and madness that you have to log back into, and
We're in the middle of nowhere.
And we're in the middle of nowhere and trying to update stuff. So we're just going to show you that it's just the Bluetooth feature. You don't really need it. It's kind of a cool feature, but this thing should fire up.
Should put fuel on all the way. This thing should fire up.
Should fire up. Ah, that was user error. So,
User error.
yeah.
And the app.
So right here, there's instructions. We didn't read those. However, super quiet.
Yeah, she's chooching along. We need to plug stuff in because I need a laptop.
Yeah, so we're gonna get back at it. We just wanted to. We're really
We'll show you
busy
some
right
more.
now.
We'll show you some more.
Lights.
First. I know.
Lights.
It's not even a workbench. And the only thing is, like, there wasn't a parameter that didn't come on because of the sensor, like, that you can see.
It's supposed to come on after 35 miles an hour. Just the way I have it set right now.
Yeah.
Which is high, but that's what I had, and it was working yesterday, and then this time it just sat on the rev limiter the whole time. It did nothing. It didn't try to fix any, didn't do any cut, nothing. Clayton? I say your name so much. I'm Dave. That's Clayton.
Some people don't know that. One
Some
guy,
people call
one
you
guy
Calvin.
in particular. Yeah,
Calvin.
Calvin.
The weekend, it couldn't have turned out, honestly, in my books, any better. Well, we could have won, I guess.
Yeah, like could have.
We made it to the semifinals. You wouldn't probably catch that in all the video footage and stuff that we had. We did make it to the semifinals. I used that event specifically for testing, nothing more. I didn't care about doing any sort of quarter mile rips.
Let's talk about that for a second. Yeah, you were actually, your main goal was just to go and do 60s. So to even run
so
anything.
To talk about the, our whole plan the whole time with this thing was to do a track rental before it ever seen the track. But because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, we have like a point series now, the earliest we could get the car ready really was for that first event. So we got no testing at all. So we used that as our testing event. Our main thing that I was worried about was panels flying off of it, leaks anywhere, you know,
the wing flying off.
The wing flying off, the poly windows,
every nut and
caving
bolt.
in.
Yeah, like every nut and bolt coming out.
Yeah, and we didn't film any of that. We did nut and bolt the whole entire car, marked everything. Like we prepared ourselves for the event, but with a new ECU, basically a new engine setup, a whole new chassis, we had a lot of things to make sure we're working correctly. Luckily, the way you're seeing this car right now, aside from we cleaned the windshield and wiped a little bit of the dust off the outside of it, this is how it returned from drag racing. The only real thing we had, the beauty ring that I put on, because I moved the exhaust, blew off. Pretty minor in the scheme of things. We didn't even have the bumper off at any point. It just worked. Everything that we hoped would happen, happened. We did see our best 60-foot ever with the old chassis, which on this car now is a 153. It does need to be much better than that. It needs to run in the 1.4s. But for our first outing, to not have everything blow apart, to come back looking like this, running its best 60 foot with me barely understanding the ECU.
And wait, you haven't even raced in like 2 years or 3 years.
Exactly. I mean, I can't thank Clayton and Robbie enough for all the help they've done with this thing. We couldn't ask for a better weekend out. It's now time to try to get to the track, dial in the 60, start doing full rips on it, full quarter-mile runs. We did one sort of run at one point for like 145 or 147 mile an hour. I can't even remember what it was, only because I was trying to beat the car so we could go to the finals. We're to the point now that we want to get to the track as much as we can. There was an event this weekend. It's raining out today, so
it just didn't work out.
Didn't work out. So basically, we're to the point now that you should see a lot more content of this thing at the track, hopefully doing what it's supposed to do. Clayton, are you glad that it's mostly finished?
Yeah, it's going to be fun to work on some other stuff and race it and do the stuff. It's like building a tree fort as a kid. So a lot of the fun's building it, but
yeah. So I'm pumped. It was a great weekend. We had a few things that we learned from the event, just in regards to settings and some of the calibration on some of the sensors that we missed or didn't have correct. But we're ready to go racing again. Hopefully you guys enjoy this content, enjoy this beautiful Mark III. Could you believe I said that? Beautiful Mark III. I'm not a Mark III fan for everybody that's new to this channel. I think these are probably one of the ugliest Volkswagens ever made. Sorry, Mark III owners. But I do own one, so it is what it is. Am I forgetting anything, Clayton?
Nope.
How was the weekend?
What weekend?
The weekend we went racing.
It was amazing. It was great. Couldn't complain.
Couldn't complain. Okay.
Couldn't complain.
Well, thanks for everybody for following along. If you have any questions or comments, ask below. We'll see you in the next video.
It could be way worse. It could be a diesel.
Oh, God, you're right.